What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. It's hump day, y'all. We humpity humping along. Good morning, Elsid. Morning announcements. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'm on my road to 1,000. I'm up one 656. 656. So, I'm going to just keep it pushing, just one subscriber at a time. So when you come on in, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the video, join the conversation. We have a lot of good fun over here having conversations about Black excellence, Black history, current events, a little bit of celebrity gossip, and some of the wild things that come across our timeline, child. The morning, banner today is people are walking around every day hanging on by a thread. Be kind or be quiet. It don't take no energy to be quiet. And I feel like we run across things on a daily basis around here in my area. I feel like the people take their aggression out once they get behind the wheel of a car. It has become excessively stressful, more and more stressful every day, just based on the way people are operating. Just something simple. Like I was driving yesterday, it was in the morning, it was a cool little ride. It felt like nobody was in any type of rush. You know what I mean? Everybody just following the speed limits and everything went so smoothly. I was able to execute what I needed to do without, any incident. And it's the people outside of that. I don't understand the people that feel the need to be first and go around and don't follow the rules, and it's human nature to want to like fire back on them. But I feel like in this day and age, if somebody is acting really erratic and out of control, just fight the urge to flip them off, say anything, disengage, because people are walking around here every day hanging on by a thread. And be kind or be quiet. um it reminds me of when my mother passed away, and I still had to go to work. I feel like when she passed away, it was like on a Friday, and I still, I'm a hairstylist, so I had appointments already on my book. I went in to work. I said nothing. I said nothing, and my clients, one of them in particular, I'm pretty close to. But I just went into work. I said nothing until the weekend was over, and then I announced, to the public that my mother passed away. Most people that know me knew that I was a caregiver and knew like the trials and tribulations that have been through, taking care of my mother. But people have a lot of things weighing on them, and we're living in a very stressful time. So, if you're not going to take a moment to like uplift someone, then just keep your mouth shut. And I know sometimes easier said than done, but you don't want to like escalate somebody that's just hanging by a thread, because you never know what the outcome is going to be. Anyway, y'all, I guess it's time to get on into the things. I'm going to climb on down off my soapbox. The hump is not so humpy necessarily. I'm a little tired, but that's because I woke up in the middle of the night and I took an allergy pill. My throat was all itchy, and so it just kind of made me groggy when I woke up. So I didn't go to the gym this morning, so I'm probably going to go ahead and hit the gym when I'm done here. And maybe, just maybe, I can find some of that energy that's missing this morning. My daughter was dressed and ready to go, and that's an accomplishment in itself. So I feel like I need to go ahead and follow through. Um, yeah, so let's get into some of these things, child, that we have on our agenda today. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. I like to start with something positive. Ina Maka, I'm thinking I'm saying that right. Ina Maka, a proud African American mom of two, is also the founder of Seeds and Soil, a youth-centered nature and farm school in Rocky Mountain, North Carolina. Her program teaches hands-on farming, herbalism, and sustainable practices that support food serenity and self-reliance. The comments: we believe that self serenity begins with knowledge, knowing how to grow food, work the land, and care for living things. Though her community work through her community work, she's building a foundation that empowers the next generation. I love this. I feel like this is something, and I've said it many times, that should be taught in the schools in the first place. Um, life skills, you know what I mean? And life skills go beyond just taxes and going to the bank. Especially, like, we can't go to the grocery store these days to get no lettuce, no strawberries, or any of the healthy things that are being grown over there at Taylor Farms, who's responsible for the explosive diarrhea that's plaguing the country. So, we just gonna go ahead and get that out of the way. Good morning, Lotus Egyptian Flower. I feel like it would be a great program to have for the summer. Even if it's not taught in the schools, we could, as a community, get together and, community gardening. I think it's a beautiful thing, and having access to knowledge about growing things at home. Kids at a young age, they're very impressionable and they love that stuff. They love to come home, when they're little and they come home from school and they want to share with everyone, what they learned at school. I think this was, as a start, would be an excellent summer program. Good morning to Go to Africa. We're just talking about this young lady over here, that has taken the step within her community. We talk about it, so let's be about it. She's in North Carolina, and she's created a farm school for young children. So love that. Love that. Wish we could see more of that. I told y'all I'm moving in September. My lease is up, so my focus is on getting the heck out of this house that I've been in far too long. But once we move, we're definitely gonna start teaching the kids, gardening with the kids. My grandson is almost 2 years old, and I think it's a great time to start them, learning about agriculture. Good morning, High Vibe. Everybody's here. Where T, Jai, Tony, they somewhere probably at their blackety black jobs. It's okay. We support blackety black jobs because we gotta eat. We gotta live. We gotta function out here in this mofo, and I think we would probably all benefit. I feel like all of y'all have some sort of garden anyway, just based on the things that I've learned over here. But yes, beautiful thing. I love to hear it. This is what I like to call Black excellence, and this is also Black excellence. So I am not familiar with the, what do they call it? Ninja World Cup. Jamie, this young man, went toe to toe with the big kids at the Ninja World Cup 2026 and held his own. My heart is full watching him chase his dreams. Proud mom always. So his mom posted this. They said he went toe to toe with some big kids. I didn't see no toes but his, because Jamie was over here, doing the darn thing. What does his future hold? I can't wait to see it. Check out Jamie.
Let's go. You're good. You're good. You're great. You're great. You're good. Let's go. Stay focused. Sit up there. Stand up. Good, buddy. Good. Good. Out there.
Let's go. Push it.
Good. Good. Move it.
Hey, come on. Come on.
Way to go, please.
On the bar. On the bar. Yeah. Up high. Come on. Here we go. Get there. Come on, Jamie. Out. Go.
Let's move.
Get it strong, Jamie.
Come on. Keep the feet moving. Keep them moving. Move the feet.
Go, Jamie. Get there. Good
word. Jamie killed that. That's very impressive. You even got Ryan Clark down here in the comments talking about, whoa, Jolly Good Ginger, beast mode activated. This was incredible to watch. I got the biggest kick out of watching this. I was like, what the heck kind of jungle gym do they have in their backyard? You said, El Cid, I have so much you can do with them and the garden. Kids need to learn. I love that. El Cid, do you have like a gardening segment? You do so many things over there on your channel. Y'all need to check out El Cid 932. I feel like most of us in the chat already know how good it is over there. But do you have anything, El Cid? I know you talk about travel. If you do a gardening segment, I'll for sure be over there, if not live, then in the recap. Junior Warriors. He smoked that kid. He did. They was like toe to toe. I'm like, whose toes did they see? Because I didn't see anybody's toes but Jamie. You have garden shorts. Okay, so El Cid 932. If you have any kind of questions about gardening, or if you want to catch any information about gardening, she has some shorts. I feel like let's lengthen it, El Cid. Let's have a whole long conversation about it. I'm always creating new things for El Cid to do. Like she got time to do it, but she's got a whole enterprise over there, and I feel like it's nice to hear information from the great El Cid 932. Two things pop in my head when I watch this kid. I'm like, what the heck kind of jungle gym did his mama and daddy put in the backyard? It's the mother over here commenting, or posting this, but for some reason, every now and then I get these thoughts in my head. I don't know, but for some reason it's giving two-parent household. And if that's not the case, she has some great coaches, because I feel like somewhere she shouted out the coaches. It says special thanks to two of the best ninja coaches in the game, Jonathan Bang and Team Karsten. So she has put time and effort into this child. This is not something I feel like can be taught necessarily. I feel like it's something that is natural and definitely needs to, be nurtured. And his parents are doing a great job of doing that. I hate that, you automatically, just because the mom posted, that you automatically think single mom. For some reason, I don't think single mom. I haven't done any investigation, but I feel like this is a two-parent household. What do you call it? Profiling. I'm profiling. He's one of the fastest that I've seen. He did that with ease to go to Africa. He moved through there like he wasn't even tired. Even when he had a little bit pause at the end, he took 2 breaths and kept it moving. You said yes, Rhonda. I'm adding that to my list. Well, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. T, you just in time. I feel like we were just talking about how El Cid needs to add some, she has a gardening segment. I feel like you should also do that, T. I feel like you do. I need T to do some vlogging. We were over here, I realize your schedule is limited, T, but I feel like when you get out in the yard, maybe you should do some vlogging, because, you do a lot over there at your house too, when it comes to, outside gardening and things of that nature. We want to expand. We want to go bigger. We don't want to just be over here talking about housewives and, dating shows and things. Although that's entertainment, we want to take every opportunity we can to spread knowledge within our community, even if it's right here on our little YouTube channels. Now, we give you the information, and what you do with that afterwards is up to you. So there, I'm back on my soapbox. I'm about to climb back off. Shout out to Jamie. I want to see, he didn't win. I don't know. I guess there's categories for this. So maybe he won his category. If he didn't, I don't know who did. But there's a lot of opportunities. They don't get paid for this, but they definitely get opportunities for, who knows where we'll see this kid up next. Sports mom vlogging. Okay, we'll take that too. But my kids are grown. We were talking about gardening and things. So if you're sports mom vlogging, I'm here for it. You said hubby cleaned up the back fence and turns out some of the bushes was poison ivy. Oh, so we're going to be extra careful. See, that's one of those things. T, I feel like you just said something about poison ivy the other day. These are things that we need to see. You know what I'm saying? Show us what this thing looked like, this poison ivy, so we won't be going out there cutesy. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Florida, so, chances are there will be some types of wildlife involved. Do y'all vlog? I haven't. You have that at mom's house. See, and you know what's cool too is the fact that we're in all these different places. You got Michigan, you got Georgia, Louisiana, we got people all over Texas. I think, it would be interesting for us to submit things to LCID. We're going to submit to LCID because she's the one that's going to be the most diligent when it comes to gardening and things. Submit, I'm crossing all type of boundaries here. LCID, smack my hand on the other side. Submit your video, your vlogs to LCID, and we can see what, the soil is like in other places, and, what different tips and tricks that you could, learn from the environment that you live in. What's the best things to grow? This just came right off the dome. I wasn't even prepared to say any of this. Elsa, do you need a secretary? I'm looking for a part-time job. Do you need somebody to organize the vlogs and things? Just let me know. Anyway, as I, step all over in business that ain't mine, we will continue. So the birthplace of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has reopened to the public after a 3-year restoration following an arson attempt. I remember that. Protect this home, please. I've had the opportunity to visit. I'm glad that it's reopening. The birthplace of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has officially reopened to the public after being closed for nearly 3 years for an extensive restoration project at the Martin Luther King National Historical Park in Atlanta. The historic home where Dr. King was born in 1929 and lived until he was 12 years old reopened following structural preservation work, modernized building systems, accessibility upgrades, and enhancements to improve the visitor experience. The reopening comes after years of rehabilitation that followed a 2023 arson attempt when a woman was accused of trying to set the historic home on fire before bystanders intervened and prevented major damage. Oh, kook. The incident prompted renewed attention to protecting one of the nation's most significant civil rights landmarks. Visitors can once again take free-range led tours of the restored home, offering a first-hand look at the environment that shaped one of America's most influential civil rights leaders. The Birthplace Homes remains one of the most visited attractions with the Martin Luther King Jr. National Historical Park and continues to preserve Dr. King's legacy for the future generations. First of all, I mean, aside from it being Martin Luther King's home, like to see a home that was owned by Black people in 1929, that's wild. Like I said, had the opportunity to visit, and we don't have a whole lot of things. You know what I'm saying? We got all kinds of white monuments, plantations. I worked with this girl that said her and her husband were going to visit plantations. And I'm standing there, I'm in this, non-melanated environment. And one of the ladies goes, "Oh my God, they're so beautiful. Wouldn't you just love to go visit these places?" And I was like, actually, no. What I don't really want to do is go visit a plantation. I realized like the pride that you would get in going to experience that, but I'm good on that. A lot of people do it. I have a friend that visited this plantation, and she was talking about walking through the hallway. I guess it's called the Whistling Hallway. I'm paraphrasing because I wasn't there, but I guess the slaves would walk through and whistle because they needed to make sure that they weren't eating the food. And I was just like, stuff like that. I don't need to go that deep and down and dark. A lot of people do, and it is what it is. I'm talking about a personal thing, but I did really enjoy and appreciate the Martin Luther King, visiting his home and the exhibit, and the letters that he wrote, the things that they preserved. So if you have an opportunity to do it, it's Atlanta. If you go into Atlanta, definitely that should be on your list of things to do now that it's reopened. Are we back on the gardening tip? Get your soil water tested for your local at your local cooperative extension. See, that's a quick tip. When we go over here to this channel, we're going to get more information so we can add more questions. Get your soil tested. Is that so you'll know, what is the best crops to plant and how to, my daughter has compost. So generally the soil is pretty good, but that takes time to have a good, have a good quality of soil. You said you're making a hideaway from the family tent in your backyard. Well, I would hope you vlog it, so you know what I'm saying, so we can see the before and after. Yeah, D was disappointed it was closed when we went down there. Well, he'll get his chance to go back. I think when you go to Atlanta, this is definitely. I haven't been in a while, so when I go to Atlanta, I'll probably go again. So my kids can go. Another microaggression. Do they honestly believe you would want to visit a plantation? Listen, high vibe. I had a former friend. I've talked about her many times. It was my birthday. We were going to go on a walk, and they were building this place near my house called Pioneer Village. So I was already not interested in going to Pioneer Village. So we go on a walk. She wants to go over there, and it wasn't open yet, but we did because she's a white woman, took it upon herself to climb over the little rope that was there, clearly there for you to not take your ass over there. But here she goes climbing over the rope to go get a better look inside of the Pioneer Village, was not actually open. And she's looking at there and she's like, oh my gosh, the craftsmanship is so beautiful. And girl, it's my birthday. And I said, yeah, when I look at this, that doesn't remind me of, I don't feel any type of ways about craftsmanship, because I would have been here, having a different experience. And probably my ancestors are responsible for the beautiful craftsmanship, to be honest. And so we left there. This was just wild. This, mind you, she's white, but she's also Middle Eastern mixed. But clearly, her daddy was not around. And so she's white for all intent and purposes. And we go to this coffee shop in St. Cloud. And I tell you, when we walked in, the record scratched. The people were definitely so thrown off by the fact that I was in there. And this person that was supposed to be my friend, either she was ignoring it or she was just that oblivious to what was going on. I'm like, I don't want to be here, girl. I'm ready to go home. This is why you got to drive your own car, because you done took me to a pioneer plantation and now I'm over here at the Klan's Diner. Fuck out of here. Yes, those were microaggressions from somebody that was supposed to be my friend. You say, I tell them they're at plantation, no pictures if the roles were reversed. Exactly. Nobody wants to be in no damn plantation, especially if you're, and my friend that went to visit, she Black, the one that I told you was, experiencing some of those things. And I think that experience definitely makes you feel a certain type of way. When I'm walking around here and I see these swamps and things, or retention ponds in the middle of people's neighborhoods, and I think about people trying to escape slavery in Florida and hiding in this alligator infested swamp water. When you watching, these TV shows or these movies, that are about slavery, and you think about, the way they romanticize it, and you see these slaves running through and they're hiding in the water. They're hiding in the water with cottonmouth, water moccasins, alligators, trying to escape, slavery. So there's nothing romantic about it. And I feel like we experience a lot of things that connect us with our ancestors. I don't damn have to go to no daggone plantation to know I ain't want to be there. You said you like visiting them. You want to summon your ancestors and hunt their ancestors. T. We don't have to go to a plantation for that. she was being a pioneer climbing over the rope. Exactly. I was like, the irony of it all. And then eventually, this white lady came out and she was like, excuse me. Because obviously it's not free. You know what I'm saying? It's not set up. They were in the middle of, they're trying to get things, open. I don't even know if it's still open. I haven't gone down there in a long time, but there's a couple dollars, $1 or $2, I think, to go walk through the Pioneer Village, the reenactment of slavery, the antebellum of it all. If y'all haven't seen Antebellum, child, with what's her name, Janelle Monáe, you need to check that out. Yeah, climbed her happy ass over the roof. The privilege, the audacity. You say, I've been trying to find what plantation my ancestors was on. I want revenge. Sorry, not sorry. Child, I tell you, you don't have to go. We can just go to New Orleans and conjure up your ancestors over there. We don't have to go to the plantation. We'd be down there like, what's the name? Slim and what's his name? Down to the centers. We don't want to have to deal with any of that, T, at the plantation. Good morning, Jaguar. She says she needs to stop tipping out. Everybody's saying their hellos. Hello. Good morning. It's hump day. We humping down here. You said I've only been to the Whitney plantation in Louisiana because it's the only one told from a slave's perspective. It was a respectful and factual tour. Did you feel some type of way? T, have I said there's the Whitney plantation over there in Louisiana? Now, she says respectful, so that's not anything about conjuring up no ancestors for the purposes of revenge. You said, you gonna see me walking away smoking my cigar like Angela Bassett? Oh my God. So if y'all are American Horror Stories fans like I am, I have dropped off for the last couple of seasons, but The Coven is back. The Coven is back. I don't know when it starts. I will be watching that one. And they included my girl, Britney Spears. Child, Britney Spears is down to The Coven on American Horror Stories. I might review that. I don't know. I love, that was my favorite. Each series is a little bit different, but The Coven was definitely my favorite. Coven is back. El Cid are you going to review it? I don't know. Sometimes I just like to enjoy shows, but I might review that one because I enjoy The Coven. And Britney's back. It's Britney, bitch. I feel like that's the plantation my family came from. Britney's and them's plantation. Maybe that's why I like Britney so much. Anyway, speaking of plantations, Texas just made history, but not everyone is celebrating the same way. The Texas State Board of Education approved a mandatory reading list that includes Bible passages for more than 5 million public school students. Elementary students will read David and Goliath. Middle school students will encounter the Sermon on the Mount. High schoolers will read Adam and Eve and the Prodigal Son. The law takes effect in 2030, and it's already sparking national conversation about what belongs in public schools, whose values get taught, and what it means to educate students from all faith backgrounds. Some say it's reclaiming American culture and heritage. Others worry about the separation of church and state. One thing is clear, this decision matters. Well, first of all, there is no separation of church and state. That's a wrap. There will be no more of that. And so I would say the best thing you can do is know what your kids are reading. Whatever's on their reading list, you need to be participating so that you know that the message that they're getting is not something that's coming from some white woman or white man down to the schoolhouse. I can't put it any more clear. So, whatever your religious background is, I think make sure you know what's being taught to your children. Make sure they're aligned with your values. We still talk about the plantation. You said high vibe. You said you felt a strong connection, not hate, but felt like a spirit and heard something too. I believe it. And I mean, I have not, like I said, I'm not a plantation girl, But I feel like if I can experience it in a way that would make me feel that way, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know how to feel anything other than anger. American Horror Story, September 24th. So we got a month and then we gonna kick in. No surprise, that's the Bible Belt. And yeah, there's no more separation of church and state. None. Which Bible they gonna use? Child, the one written by some white man. Um, okay, so yeah. Like I said, best thing you can do out of, and it's not even just, I think it's as far as history and everything. As parents, you need to be aware of what's being taught in the schools because, you can't trust what they're saying. You should always be involved. You should always be involved. You should always encourage your children to have questions and question what they're being taught. You should always encourage them to research things outside of what they're being taught in schools because what we learn in the school is a daggone lie most of the time. Most of the factual information I got about my history did not come from inside the schoolhouse. It should be on the required reading list for Governor Abbott and all of the other racist demons who lead the government. Child, they obviously they put these things into the school requirements, but never. It's just like any other corporation. They're good at telling you what to do when they haven't done any of the things they own selves. So yeah, parents, don't be lazy. Know what your children are learning. It's good for you to have conversations about things. Me and my daughter, most of our conversations happen on morning walks. So ask them what they feel about things. You'll be surprised that they're a lot smarter than you think they are. This story right here had me thrown off. I was so confused. I keep seeing it over and over. So it says Uncle Nearest could remain in black hands as the celebrated whiskey brand moves closer to potential sale. Like I said, I've seen many, many stories about this. A court appointed receiver has signed a non binding agreement with an unnamed investment firm described as having black ownership and leadership. The proposed deal would include substantially all of Uncle Nearest's core assets, including the whiskey brand and the Nearest Green Distillery in Tennessee. The potential buyer reportedly plans to retain the company's workforce, strengthen sales through new partnerships, and continued honoring Nathan's Nearest Green, formerly enslaved distiller, recognized as the first known black master distiller in the United States. This sale is not final, and two sides are still negotiating a formal purchase agreement, and any deal must be approved by a federal judge. The buyer's identity and purchase price have not been made public yet. I hope it ain't the Carters, child, or we'll be down to the Target having to buy the damn whiskey. If approved, the sale would keep one of the nation's most celebrated black-founded spirit brands under black ownership. So this whole situation with this whiskey brand is far beyond, my understanding. So I saw this lady on TikTok, and she does a better job at explaining what's been going on over here. We know that the whiskey brand is black owned. Fawn and her husband were running the company, and so let me just let this lady explain, because every time I read one of these articles, I get so confused by what the hell is actually going on. And it just made it seem like Fawn was being shady to some extent. I was just, I didn't know. That's why I haven't talked about it. So let me go ahead and let this lady do some explaining.
Y'all, there is a twist in this Uncle Nearest saga that you have to hear about. And I'm not a lawyer, but take a seat so I can fill you in. Okay, so we know Whiskey company Uncle Nearest was placed in a receivership back in August of 2025 because they owed about $100 million to a lending company called Farm Credit Mid-America. And so enter Philip Young Jr., the court-appointed receiver. Okay, now fast forward to this month, July of 2026. So we all know that the receiver, Philip Young Jr., fired the co-founders of the company, Fawn and Keith Weaver, effective June 1st, 2026. But now here we are a month later, and the receiver has now filed a countersuit against the lender, Farm Credit Mid-America. And the reason why is some tea. According to the countersuit, Uncle Nearest actually has 3 loans with Farm Credit Mid-America. They have a term loan, which you can think of like a mortgage. Farm Credit loaned Uncle Nearest a set amount of money, and they have a period of time or a term to pay that amount back. Then they also have a real estate line of credit, and you can think of this one like a loan that is backed by real estate. So in this particular case, Farm Credit used the worth of the Uncle Nearest distillery to determine how much they would loan Uncle Nearest. And then the third loan Uncle Nearest has with Farm Credit is a revolving loan in the amount of $35 million. And you can think of this revolving loan like a credit card. Farm Credit basically approved Uncle Nearest for a $35 million credit card, basically. Okay, now at the time these loans were put in place, a man named Michael Senzosky was the chief financial officer of Uncle Nearest, and he was in charge of everything money related at the company. And child, he was scamming. According to the documents, between July of 2022, when the $35 million line of credit was first issued, and August of 2023, so that's about 13 months, Michael Senzosky submitted multiple falsified documents, including fake inventory documents saying Uncle Nearest had more barrels of whiskey than they actually had, all with the intention of getting Farm Credit to increase the $35 million line of credit. And that fake barrel inventory is key because that is what Farm Credit based the increase to the loan on. The more barrels Farm Credit believed Uncle Nearest had, the more money they were willing to lend them. And boy, did they lend. By August of 2023, Farm Credit had increased the $35 million revolving loan to $66,980,000 US dollars. And remember, I said this revolving loan is like a credit card. So Senzosky didn't just stop at increasing the limit. He submitted what is called drawdown requests, which is basically a formal way of saying, hey, lender, now that you've increased how much I have access to, send it to me. According to the documents, over those 13 months, Senzosky submitted 28 drawdown requests, which basically amounted to him submitting one every 2 weeks for a whole year. And after that year, the total amount of how much he drew down came up to $67 million. And it doesn't stop there. Michael Senzosky has apparently admitted in multiple interviews with private investigators that he did all of this. According to the receiver, Senzosky has admitted to signing Fawn Weaver's name on multiple corporate documents without her knowledge or consent. He's admitted to transferring some of her ownership interests, or in layman's terms, what we would call shares, to himself. He's also admitted to falsifying board meeting minutes to show that Fawn and Keith approved loans that they actually never approved. And finally, he's admitted to using the money that he was stealing, because surely you didn't think he used that $67 million on the company, to purchasing himself a house in Las Vegas, buying himself cars, and gambling. And again, that's not it. According to the receiver, while Senzosky was employed, he found some kind of loophole in the company's payment system. So apparently, Fawn and Keith Weaver would go into this payment system and approve payments be issued for certain vendors. But after they would approve it, Senzosky would allegedly go back into that system and change who the payment should go to and how much they were getting paid. Child, send him to jail now. And it was so bad that the receiver says when he first came on board and reviewed the records, they showed that the company owed about $345,000 to different vendors. But now that the receiver has been there for a while and has started combing through the records, the company really owes over $10 million to all the people they thought had been paid and never actually had. You know what? Forget jail. Just go be his. Okay, and now here's where we get to why Farm Credit is in all of this. And that's because the receiver says Farm Credit ignored so many warning signs that they allowed this fraud to continue much longer than it should have. According to the receiver, Farm Credit approved all 28 of those drawdown requests, even though every single one of them were signed by only one person. Michael Senzaki. He says they never picked up the phone to call Fawn Weaver. They never asked another executive at the company if these millions of dollars in requests were actually authorized by anyone other than Michael Senzaki. And the biggest red flag is that the receiver says Farm Credit Mid-America approved nearly $67 million in drawdowns without ever confirming with the company's CEO that she knew it was happening. More specifically, the receiver says, quote, one phone call or one email to Fawn Weaver at any point during those 13 months might have exposed this fraud. And the receiver highlights that any reasonable lender, especially one administering a loan that in total exceeds $100 million, should have confirmed the financial condition of the company they were loaning this much money to. He says they should have asked for their tax returns, they should have audited their financial statements, and they definitely should have required more than one person to sign off on the documents. But Farm Credit did none of that. Instead, they followed their company's written policy that says that drawdown requests can be funded within 24 hours of them being requested, and they do not require confirmation from any other officer at the company, including, in this case, the company's CEO and majority owner, Fawn Weaver. And the receiver goes on to say that he believes Farm Credit allowed all of this to happen because they were also making money. According to the documents, every time Senzaki made changes to this loan agreement, Farm Credit was able to make money through their change fees. So over the course of those 13 months, Farm Credit collected $400,000 just in fees, which, according to the receiver, gave them a direct financial incentive to ignore all the warning signs that were there and keep approving these requests. And then the last bit of information from this countersuit is, remember how I said Uncle Nearest had 3 loans with Farm Credit, and one of them was a real estate line of credit against the distillery? Well, the receiver says Farm Credit made this whole situation worse than it had to be because they chose to keep increasing the amount of the revolving loan instead of increasing the amount of the real estate line of credit. In layman's terms, the receiver says it would have made more sense for Farm Credit to loan against the distillery because real estate generally increases in value instead of increasing the loan that was backed by whiskey inventory that they were never even checking to make sure existed. And so when the whiskey inventory is finally checked and Farm Credit discovers that it wasn't worth nearly what they thought it was, Uncle Nearest ends up in default. However, had they loaned against the property, the receiver says Uncle Nearest wouldn't have ended up in technical default. And so for the role the receiver says Farm Credit has played in its own demise, he is now suing them for negligence. Child, what a mess. Also, where the hell is Michael Senzaki? Somebody got to pull up to his house. Y'all, there is a twist in this Uncle Nearest saga that you have to hear about. And I'm not a lawyer, but take us.
Okay, so yeah, like I said, I don't know, this case was interesting to me, but I was very confused because I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it. But now, like, I'm starting to understand. I definitely feel like, first of all, Fawn is not directly related to, the pioneer that brought this whiskey brand, to fruition. But she did work with them, they said. I don't know how involved she was though in the books. Like you just handing this business over to this man. I'm guessing Michael Senzaki or whatever his name is now melanated. And I also feel like he definitely had a connection down to that bank for them to be going through and approving all these loans without any, other contact with the owner of the company. You said a lot of these wealthy people acquire their wealth through fraud of some kind. Yeah, I the more I read it, I'm kind of starting to get an understanding of what's going on, but I don't know necessarily that Fawn's hands was clean in all of this. You know what I'm saying? And they coming after her still. He was doing what he was doing what Fawn told him to do. We need the text messages and the emails. That's the feeling I was getting. Lotus Egyptian Flower. I was like, I don't know if he was just moving single-handedly. At the end of the day, he might have been the person that, was put in place to do this. Like I said, I don't think blood necessarily matters, but she's not blood related. This is not her legacy. Not by blood anyway. Michael should be hired to the FDIC so he can close those loopholes We don't know where Michael is right now, somewhere on these properties. Um, there's another video that this lady put out. I'm not going to play it, but basically, they're having a liquidate thing. A lot of those properties are being sold in order to pay some of this debt. And because, Fawn is the owner of the company, she's still being held liable for some of this money. So hopefully the company gets sold to black organization, black leadership, black ownership. Yeah, we need to hold on to as many businesses as we can. And in another instance, it seems like people just have these businesses, don't really know how financials work, and then you put somebody. Stormy did the same thing. Stormy Steele did the same thing, and brought this white man over here because he. I feel like a lot of times we automatically assume that the white people that are more knowledgeable and will have our best interests at heart, and that's not necessarily what happened. And he came over there and pulled her out of the red, but then wanted to take ownership of her company. So y'all got to be careful. No decisions are to be made without my permission. But some about this Fawn, I don't know. I got my good eye on her. Something just ain't right. I don't know about this, Don. Former CNN anchor Don Lemon says he's seriously considering a run for president in 2028 after repeatedly being encouraged to enter politics. Don, I'm gonna need you to stay over here reporting. We don't know. I'm gonna say it's a firm no for me. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing, Don. Where you at? Former CNN anchor Don Lemon says he is seriously considering a run for president in 2028 after repeatedly being encouraged to enter politics. During the appearance on the Can't Be Censored podcast, Lemon said he has spoken to people who have experience in politics about what it would take to launch a campaign and when he would need to enter the race. Lemon said he believes he could be a strong president because he would listen to advisors and experts. However, he acknowledged that raising enough money would be a major challenge and suggests that he would likely need to run as a Democrat. Lemon has not officially announced a campaign or launch an exploratory committee. First comment, no more entertainers in politics. We need lawyers, economics, and community workers. I agree. And I also feel like soon as you become a politician, Don, you're not going to be able to be honest anymore. You're going to be having to cloud the way you answer things in order to satisfy the powers that be. We need legit, honorable business people, not popping tags and scamming. You talking about Fawn and the whiskey company? An independent audit would have caught it. How long between audits? Well, I think everybody needs to be audited. The lending company doing, their fraudulent practices. It feels like some people, Fawn even had a hand in choosing who the receiver was that's handling the business right now. He came in there and fired her ass because why? If Michael was responsible for everything, then why is she fired? Because he wasn't, I don't feel like totally responsible. You said, what lion spirit did Don conjure up to get that advice? I don't know. We don't want it, Don. I wasn't even really a fan of Don Lemon like that. I'm still like, he's cool or whatever as a journalist, but he didn't get real jiggy until he left CNN because he was under, restrictions of corporations. So no, Don, we need you to keep your boots on the ground. Stay over here telling it, saying it like you mean it. We do not want Don in the White House. He has a lot of white friends. He got a white husband, child. So that means, Don, you don't get a +1 at the cookout. You're welcome to come, but no +1 for you. Take your man a plate. No, Don, politics, not the president. Oh my goodness. Somebody have a good run just because you was down to the protest and ended up in handcuffs. Not no, no, John. It don't matter how much white. Oh my goodness, Jaguar. Whew. It don't matter how much white. He's over there. Americans ain't electing a gay man. He's talking. I didn't even think about that. I never even thought about that. The fact that he's a gay man. I mean, I realized that's a thing, but that didn't even pop in my mind. I was just like, no, listen, we need honest journalists. The journalists are already out here, under attack. We losing media. We need somebody that's gonna keep it funky. Start with city council. That would be good. Do something locally. Now, I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at Don Lemon down there to the city council, making sure people's hands is on the table. Don, I hear they got some openings over there at the whiskey company, at the Uncle Ernest Nearest or whatever his name, whiskey. So maybe you could go over there and interview some of those people. Not president. He's better qualified than 47 and most of the ones running the government now. At least he'll be looking out for my best interest and more than many of them. I mean, to go to Africa, quite possibly the cashier down at the 7-Eleven is more qualified than 47. I also feel like some people are better serving us in different positions than president. You know what I'm saying? I need Don to be a journalist. That's very important because we get so much misinformation. Lemon drop for everybody. Is that his not the lemon drop? Is that gonna be his campaign his campaign slogan? Lemon drop for everyone. He has as much chance as Stephen A. Smith. They talking out of their Ugh. I'm not gonna lie, I did think about Stephen A when he said that, and I feel exactly the same way. I don't like Stephen A. Smith. I'm okay with Don Lemon. He's all right, you know what I'm saying? But as president, where do y'all get all this arrogance from? You've not even been, I'll listen to my advisors. Don, stop it. Don only grabbed his huevos after he spat with Elon. Yes, that was the onset, wasn't it? When he sat down and had that little tit for tat with Elon. Then, of course, CNN let him go, and he didn't get really cool till he came down to YouTube with the rest of us. Yes, Stephen A. I mean, he was over there running his mouth. Stephen A. involves himself in so many conversations. It's hard to not, he pops up every now and then. It's like a cockroach. You know what I mean? He's like a cockroach when you go in the kitchen, turn the light on. There's Stephen A. frozen. Hey, you said he should follow up the legacy of Ed Bradley. Yes, Ed Bradley, Byron Allen. If some of these media people, will come together, I got an idea. The media people can come together and we can create our own sports channel since they're over there, finagling things down to ESPN. His white friends are in his ear. That's never good, high vibe. You let your white friends get in your ear. Next thing you know, you're taking a walk down to the plantation village, Pioneer Village, checking out the craftsmanship of remade rocking chairs. Oh, anyway, Don, people said it's a no. Nobody over here wants to see you in the White House, but keep doing what you're doing, Don, because I like him over here being spicy and cussing the people out. This was out the blue. I'm gonna go ahead and do it here. This was out the blue. Malcolm Jamal Warner and his wife and his mother is over here having a little tiff about some money. He says, I'm not at the top of the story. Okay, it says Tanisha Warner is seeking money from an alleged life insurance policy as well as additional alleged debts from the Warner Family Trust. Malcolm Jamal Warner's widow, Tanisha Warner, filed a lawsuit against the late actor's family over alleged unpaid debts. Tanisha alleges she's owed $1.2 million over a life insurance policy and additional alleged debts, and she's seeking the money from the Warner Family Trust. Malcolm died at the age of 54 in an accidental drowning while on a vacation in Costa Rica, July 2025. Oh, Malcolm. Dang. Anyway, Malcolm Jamal Warner's widow, Tanisha Warner, has taken legal action against his mother, Pamela Warner, over alleged unpaid debts from his family trust. In a lawsuit filed in DeKalb County, I did not know they was down to the ATL. In a lawsuit filed in DeKalb County Superior Court in Georgia, obtained by the Atlanta Journal and Constitution and TMZ, Tanisha alleges she and late actor signed a prenuptial agreement in May 2022 and claims he agreed to a $1 million life insurance policy with her as sole beneficiary, though he allegedly failed to secure the policy. Tanisha filed the lawsuit in DeKalb County, Georgia, on the first anniversary of his death on July 20th, per the AJC, Atlanta Journal and Constitution. The court documents filed in Los Angeles County Court on July 17, obtained by People, Tanisha claims she is owed $1,276,042.46, comprising of $1 million in life insurance obligations, $50,542.46 for an anniversary payment obligation laid out in their agreement, $30,500 with respect to a Roth IRA obligation, and $195,000 with respect to a salary obligation as she worked as her late husband's chief of staff. Pamela serves as a trustee, that's his mama. Pamela serves as a trustee of Warner Family Trust, which the actor set up in 1996. And Tanisha reportedly requests that the alleged debt is covered by the trust since she believes Malcolm's estate will be inadequate to satisfy the cost, per the Atlanta Journal Constitution. Tanisha is also seeking interest, attorney's fees, in order preventing Pamela from distributing anything from the trust during the case, according to the outlet. People has reached out to the attorneys for Pamela and Tanisha. Malcolm, who played Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show from 1984 to 1992, died in an accidental drowning while on a family vacation to Costa Rica. He was 54. Pamela appeared on Good Morning America in September 2025 to discuss how the family adjusted in the months since his death, telling Robin Roberts she was at peace with everything that happened. On Monday, she shared a tribute to her son on the first anniversary of his death via Living Legacy Instagram page, calling it amazing how a year of pain, hurt, loss, emotional destabilization, and most importantly, growth has come and sit here before me. During my year-long journey, I have discovered how cruel, evil, and greedy a human can be. And I've also discovered the depth of love, care, and concern and support that humans are capable of, all of which have been a recipient of the good, the bad, and the ugly. These are the lessons that apparently I will need as I continue my journey, Pamela wrote in part. She later concluded, please take care of yourselves and those who you love. Let them know that they are loved. Clear up any beef you may have with your loved ones, if possible. Cleanse your spirit of negativity. We all have an expiration date. Don't leave or let your loved one leave without them knowing that they are loved and treasured. That knowledge and a clean plate has helped me to survive. Malcolm and Tanisha shared one daughter who was 8 years old at the time of his death. In September, Tanisha shared a photo from their wedding and thanked her followers for holding us in such love during this tender time. At a time, she launched the Warner Family Foundation and River and Ember alongside their daughter. This is sad. The Warner Family Foundation will provide scholarships for young students seeking to pursue higher education in the arts, while River and Ember is on an organization that offers seasonal toolkits with art and other exercises for parents and children. Tomorrow marks our anniversary, and my heart is wide open. For the first time, I'm sharing a glimpse of the love that began it all, she wrote at the time. I could still hear my husband's laugh, feeling the way he made room, still feel the way he made room for every part of me, every tear, every dream. Together we carry legacy, my husband and I begin. One that nurtures children's inner light and gives young artists the freedom to create outside the lines. This is love, still moving, still making, still carrying forward. Gayle King's sit-down interview with Tanisha is set to air on CBS this morning, Thursday. So tomorrow, she having a sit-down with Gayle King. This is sad, and I feel like this definitely is something that could be handled between the two of them. Let's see what y'all are saying. You said Malcolm Jamal Warner's wife and mom were acting weird when he died. The mother spoke out, but not the wife. It didn't make sense to me. You would think they would have it together in their grieving. It seems like maybe you know how some of these mamas can be. I don't want to put it on the mother because sometimes, listen, he chose her. They have an 8-year-old daughter. So, you know, and these things were put in writing in a prenup. And also they're going by, you know, the trust that he has set up in 1996. They say he was 26 years old. So, you know, according to the wife, he was moving forward to make some changes. And he probably was because, you know, he drowned. This was not something that, you know, that obviously it was unexpected. And I would say he wasn't like, you get married, you have a family. I'm sure he was in no rush to take the money away from his mother. Like, she's been running that trust. It just feels like something that could be handled. But, you know, if the mama and the wife don't get along, then there's that. But what about the granddaughter? You said they never acknowledged one another in their statements. It seems like they didn't get along and, you know, or had time to learn about each other. Yeah, but they got an 8-year-old child. So, you know, I don't know. How much was he worth? I'm sure $1 million won't break the bank. Plus the money is ultimately going to the daughter. That's what I was thinking. I was like, it's $1 million, like out of the trust. And I feel like $1 million is a lot to us, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's a lot of money over here. You know, he was still getting residuals from things. And I think, obviously, you know, he had it in his prenup. So he definitely intended for his wife to have this. I don't want to, like I said, I don't know the history of the relationship, but I think even if you don't like the daughter-in-law, she has your grandchild. It just seems like the right thing to do. She's not asking for ownership of the trust. She's actually, you know, started her own. So, you know, her own foundation, her own trust and honor of him. I just don't understand why. Write the check, Grandma. I don't understand. I'm gonna be looking for the interview tomorrow because I want to see. Like, I've last I knew about Jamal was that him and Regina King, you know, had an ugly breakup. So, you know, he obviously moved on, and you know that she has a whole child. They were married. This wasn't like his baby mama or something. This is his wife. You said, I have one question about his mother's intentions. She probably relied upon him financially since he was a child star and may not have the money to maintain her lifestyle. I think the trust does have the money, though. That's the way the lady put it. Like his estate, like, you know, the home and everything, there wasn't that money in it. he was still a working actor, so he was still, getting, he had a whole series, I think, that he was a part of before he passed away. So Malcolm Jamal Warner was still out here working. Nobody trying to take the trust away from his mother. But I feel like, and this is a way to wrap it up. Wrap it up. She's over here taking care of this child. Her husband is no longer here. It's been a year. So she has been trying to handle it. But from what I'm hearing, she went ahead and filed a suit before the statute of limitations, expired. So it's been a year. She's like, okay, then if I'm going to have to take you to court, then that's what it's going to be. Good morning, Joe Tony. Wife said, bitch, better have my money. I just feel like this is your son. This is not your husband. You know what I mean? Once your son is married to someone, and like I said, this trust was made in 1996 when he was in his 20s, and his mama was the person that he trusted most, which makes sense. But moving forward, if he's in the process of making some changes, that just means setting up his wife to be financially secure once he's gone. If you're thinking about the lifestyle that she was living, her and her daughter, when Malcolm Jamal Warner was alive, $1 million, that's probably near the cost of their home. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why his mama is holding on to these coins like this. It don't make sense to me. Even if you don't like her, it don't matter. He married this woman, and what is she going after? She's not even being ridiculous. She's just asking for the money that was set up in the prenup. This has nothing to do with after, he died. And, this is a situation. This was a prenuptial contract. So, I mean, mama, give me a break. The sad part is how private he was, and now these women are dragging his business in the media. Yeah, I guess, like I said, she doesn't have any choice in terms of the lawsuit. He was private. At the end of the day, his mother could have just handled the situation. If she doesn't like the lady, then that may be some reason for her hesitance. But we gonna check it out tomorrow on today's show, or wherever Gayle King is. Good morning. She not on Good Morning America. Let's see. She's probably just trying to pay off the house and cars and wrap up the debts that they made as a couple. That's why I said, for us, $1 million is a lot. For them, it just doesn't seem like it. It just seems like, and then to write that, the mother to put, I can see how cruel and greedy somebody is. This doesn't feel greedy to me. This doesn't feel greedy at all. This is her husband, for goodness sakes. They have a child, like an 8-year-old. The child is 9 years old now. So he's definitely not some new person that has come into his life that's asking for his money. This is a prenuptial agreement. Y'all be talking about people signing prenups and things. She wanted, and I don't even feel like that's unreasonable. When you're married to somebody that's somewhat wealthy, she asked for $1 million life insurance policy. I feel like that would be normal for most people within a certain income bracket. So yeah, I'm gonna check out what she has to say. But right now, I'm standing in judgment of his mama. Mama, cut it out. Cut the check and move on with your life. You still gonna have ownership of his trust or foundation or whatever it is you over there. Like, I get her attachment to it, but your son was 26 when y'all started this. So you've been running it for all of these years, and nobody's trying to take it away from you. Cut the check. This was his wife. This is ridiculous. Sorry. Next story. Am I sharing? Let me get up on the right. Google says his net worth was $3.4 million. Yeah, give her the money. I just can't see any argument why they wouldn't do it. I can't see any argument why the mother wouldn't do it except for the fact that, she doesn't like the wife, doesn't care for the wife, and who cares? But I have a son, so don't get offended when I say boy moms can be very weird sometimes. When it comes to them sons, they can do no wrong. And, this lady, like I said, she did not just come along. They've been together for years. So they just got rid of our boy, y'all. I don't like it. According to reports, the former NFL safety has been laid off by ESPN after nearly 10 years with the network. Ryan Clark joined ESPN in 2015 following his 13-year NFL career and quickly became one of the company's most recognizable football analysts, appearing regularly on NFL Live, First Take, Get Up, SportsCenter, and Monday Night Countdown. He was also reportedly expected to play a major role in ESPN's coverage of Super Bowl 61, making the decision even more surprising. Well, I mean, he can still cover it, Ryan. We gonna pivot. Wherever you pivot, we pivoting with y'all. We don't have to go over there to ESPN and listen to Stephen A. Smith run his mouth. The Athletic reports Clark's departure is the first move in a larger round of layoff expected at ESPN this week. Reports also claim Clark learned of the decision while appearing live on NFL Live. So they told him while he was in the middle of working. After the news began leaking, prompting ESPN to notify him sooner than originally planned. How did it leak? How did it leak out that they had to tell him in the middle of a broadcast that he was being laid off? Okay. Neither ESPN nor Clark has publicly shared the reason behind the decision, and the network has not announced who else could be affected. Ryan Clark's firing from ESPN was influenced by his perceived poor verbal contact, particularly towards colleague Peter Schrager on Get Up last September. After Schrager defended Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb's performance in a season opening loss, Clark said, "That's the non-player in you." Schrager asked Clark not to belittle him, and later that day, Clark apologized on X, writing, "Today I had an interaction with my colleague Schrager, both on and off the air. I regret." I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that had anything to do with it. I never even heard of that. So they're on bull crap. Lord, not my man, child. He's our man. Ryan we gonna have to share Ryan. Tell his wife. Somebody tell his wife that me and T are sharing Ryan. Yeah, child, they done unleashed Ryan. And Ryan posted videos of him down to the gym. He's doing those unbothered posts, but we're gonna be down to the pivot to see what's going on. Fire him on air, child. That's what they did. They let him know they're not calling it firing, they calling it laid off. Same thing. Firing him on air during a commercial break. Can you imagine? And you're supposed to come back. That's low down. That's just disrespectful. How did it leak? How did it leak? I feel like that was personal. Stephen, did you have something to do with that? Hating ass Stephen A. Smith, because he's still employed there. And I saw the picture, and it was probably about 6 people, all black, and 2 of them were white. So you wouldn't have to worry about what I would say after the commercial break. And me too, child. Me too. Because I don't have no good censorship, up in my brain. You said that seems to be the way they handle African Americans these days. Look at how they did Joy Reid. Yep. Did they fire them on air, though? Like, did they go to commercial break and be like, "Hey, before the world lets you know"? What were they worried he was going to do? Go on his phone in the middle of a broadcast? You know what I'm saying? Like, I doubt that Ryan Clark is over here scrolling in between commercial breaks, probably. He probably getting freshed up, you know what I'm saying? So he can look good to continue saying what it is he has to say. He was too real for them, I feel like. He's not the only one, y'all. He's not the only one. This man did not get let go on his commercial break. He wasn't there 10 years. He's only been there 2 years, but they got rid of Cam. ESPN parts ways with Cam Newton as Ryan Clark is also included in the latest rounds of talent layoffs. According to reports, Cam Newton is also expected to be among the network's latest round of layoffs after spending the past 2 seasons as an NFL analyst. Newton became a regular face on First Take, eventually stepping into the Monday co-host eventually stepping into the Monday co-host role during football season after Shannon Sharpe's departure. ESPN is reportedly now searching for a permanent replacement for those Monday shows. Somebody who they could pay less to? Somebody who comes with a little less melanated? News of Newton's reported exit comes one day after reports that follow NFL analyst Ryan Clark is also being let go as far as the network's latest cuts. Newton's departure also follows last year's public tension with Stephen A. Smith. Here's that name again. After Newton hosted Jason Whitlock on his podcast, which is completely separate from this, leading to an exchange between the two. ESPN has not publicly commented on the reported layoffs. Cam Newton has his show that he does, the Funky Friday, and he annoys me. He is, he has very, controversial. He goes viral a lot with his guests. However, he also has a sports take show. And one thing Cam Newton does do, he does a great job on his sports takes. So, I don't know. He was just getting his foot in the door and he's already out. DEI is at ESPN. I won't have to go over there anymore. What I would love to see, even though they don't always, and it's cool to not always agree and be on the same accord. I think it would be very dope if Ryan and Cam took advantage of this opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to have their own sports take. Keep the pivot, you know what I'm saying? Because we need multiple streams of income over here. But because Ryan and Cam were the two let go of ESPN, I think it would be really dope. Leave Shannon Sharpe over there with Chad. I don't care what they have to say, but I always enjoy Ryan and Cam's take on the different events as far as sports are concerned. So Ryan, call Cam. Cam, call Ryan. Somebody get these two on the phone and let's get this thing started. The season starts in September. We can make this happen between now and September. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already have podcasts. Y'all know how to set it up. Get a room, get a stage, get ready to do this thing. So we will take our views over there with Ryan, and Cam, and hear what they have to say as far as the sports take. And I feel like you won't be getting the same, opinion about things. It would be very interesting I feel like, to hear these two, so somebody could do. Anybody got Ryan's number? Child, I don't have Ryan's number. His wife says she don't want me calling over there, so I'm probably blocked. You said, yeah, it was during a commercial. The story they're giving is they were going to lay him off in the morning, but the story leaked. And so many journalists started calling, emailing, texting. So, he wasn't answering no emails, Jaguar, in the middle of a broadcast. That's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. It was getting leaked. But how? I don't know. But I feel like at most jobs, not just ESPN, that information always gets leaked. There's always somebody walking around the office or around the plant. Everybody knows they're about to get the Cam but them. So that kind of information always leaks. I feel like y'all could have just waited until after the broadcast to ask Ryan to help turn your phone off or something. They pulled the trigger early. I don't know. I feel like, Ryan is in the lab. I don't know how much he was getting paid over there at ESPN, but let's see what those numbers look like when they erase all the color from over there. You believe Stephen A. Smith has something to do with Cam? Probably. And he sat there on Cam's he sat over there and got interviewed by Cam, and I feel like Cam was very respectful to Stephen A. Smith. He sat over there and talked all that shit at the Freaky Friday, Stephen A. Smith, and still came after Cam. So now I want to go see the Whitlock interview. And Cam, keep doing what you're doing. You as a clown, but I don't want to see you go nowhere because I'll be over there watching. You said I would be shocked if they did a Stephen A. Smith because he's not going anywhere. He did an interview over there on Cam's platform talking about, how he the big dog over there. No, Cam. I mean, I really like Cam's take on sports. I feel like he's very objective. He does a great job of, uplifting and critiquing at the same time. And I think Ryan and Cam together, I would love it. No, Ryan, do not call Cam. Stay pivoting. I think Ryan should definitely stay on the pivot, but this is something different. These are two people that were let go of ESPN. I would love to see them have their own sports take. Keep the pivot, keep the Funky Friday. Everybody keep doing what they're doing. But I think just it's kind of like when Funky Dineva left the T show with, Claudia and them. When he left that show and then started doing his own thing and, was clearly fine without him. I think it would be interesting to see what would happen with their numbers if Ryan and Cam got together and did a sports take on Sunday and Monday, whatever day they choose to do it on. I feel like there could be different facets of their new version. Call Byron Allen. Who got Byron Allen's number on the list? We need to call Byron. Let's get this thing started. Byron is looking for new things to, launch his platform. I think this is a great number. You got the number T. Make some phone calls, please, because we need to make this happen. Regardless to what you feel about Cam, I think this is bigger than that. This is just a big, they did Jamal Hill. Where's she at? Bring her over here. We can make it a thing. We can make it a thing. I hope that they are in the lab. I'm going to go ahead, the powers of three. I'm going to go ahead and conjure up my COVID and hopefully, we can see something like this happen. But, FESPN, may they all eat some dirty lettuce over there and have explosive shits. Next story. Speaking of explosive shit. So everybody has been out here. Have y'all done your Netflix video? I've considered doing one. I probably will. I got something in mind. But everybody is doing their Netflix, parody video. And your girl is over here looking for another 15 minutes. She done went down to the Amazon and found her a cap and gown. The people said it was $84 that she spent on this cap and gown to come over here to us with the bullshit. So this is, your girl Cheyenne.
Is this my camera? Oh, this is my camera? Oh, this is my camera?
Child, this is too damn long. It says when Netflix does a documentary on Dr. Cheyenne Bryant's, episode 1 will ask, is she really a doctor? Episode 2, 10 will investigate why complete jealous, envious haters tried to prove she wasn't. Why is she always talking about somebody as a damn hater, girl? Ain't nobody hating on you. Good grief. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant addresses the controversy surrounding her degrees and credentials with this Netflix trend after previously mentioning that she does not have a therapy license. Although she does have a doctorate in counseling psychology, critics have argued that there are no public records. We're not going to keep calling her a doctor. If somebody asks me for my damn license, here it go. It ain't that serious. I'm not interested. No Netflix video for me. I think Lotus Egyptian Flower already did one for you, Elsie. You're covered. Wrong color for that. She got it off of Amazon, child. You could just order you a professor gown. Her Netflix doc will be about her secret lesbian life. Her secret lesbianism while faking to be a PhD and a heterosexual. She got a lot of lies. She got a lot of lies, child. But no doctorate, no degree. We ain't seen it. If Delulu was a person, I'm like, child, she should win the award for coming back for another 15 minutes every 15 minutes. Girl, sit down. We don't even care anymore. How about this? Ray J was on Cam show saying that she's his doctor. So if that ain't nothing, girl, what is happening? Because I've only seen Ray J getting worse. So if you want to see, whether you're feeling like choosing Dr. Cheyenne Bryant to get inside your head, if you're a woman, she wants you to get naked in a bathtub with some man that you're not going to have sex with just to prove that, you're, I don't know, strong in your emotions. She needs a psychic diagnosis. I got it. Crazy. Light blue is education, not psychology. That's hilarious. She didn't even know which one to get, child. She over here, does she have a degree in education? I don't know, child. I don't know what she's doing, but she over here making a fool of herself. She wants us to keep talking. So here we are. We're talking, Cheyenne. Cheyenne has an account with Amazon, and somebody let her know that blue is education, not psychology. She's not the only one. She's not the only one over here doing a Netflix mockery, what you call it, parody.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Derek?
So Amanda Seales is over here. Apparently, Issa Rae and the crew is going on a tour, and Amanda's not included. No surprise there. She needs a psych diagnosis. Y'all talking about Cheyenne. She couldn't research the right road. That's what I said, Havok. Come on. She didn't think about it. She was just like, ooh, here's one. Ray J ain't been the same since he got his ass knocked out. I think Ray J ain't been the same since he sat down on Cheyenne's couch. She might be the reason. She might just be the reason why Ray J's not okay. Somebody go check on that. What is she over there doing to Ray J? Child. Anyway, Amanda came over here with hers. Apparently, like I said, Issa and the rest of the cast is going on tour. I guess it's just where they answer questions, that kind of forum. Anyway, they didn't ask this lady to go. So she went over here and did her own Netflix parody. I called it a mockery. She did her Netflix parody. This lady broke it down for us why she's not on the tour.
Long story short, Issa employed Amanda. After the show was over, Amanda got on the internet and was talking about her experiences, well within her rights to do so, by the way. Did not shed Issa in a positive light. It was a big drama on the internet about it. Years later, Issa, in her full rights as an employer and owner of Insecure, decided to have a reunion. and intentionally did not invite Amanda. Amanda got on the internet, feels type of way about it because she feels like she played a critical role in the show, and that should supersede whatever fucked up shit she said about Issa. The points I want to make to you are this. One, when you leave these jobs and people are telling you, fuck that job, put them on blast on the internet, don't give no 2 weeks notice, you better be able to stand on that to infinity and beyond. Business is relational, okay? You can't just say anything about people and expect there not to be consequences. You're well within your rights to do whatever the hell you want to do. I'm just here to give you something to think about before you do it, okay? Because 99% of the times you're having an emotional reaction. And how many times I talked to y'all about emotional regulation? Okay, making decisions where you're in a heightened emotional state, usually not the best decision you could make, okay? Now, y'all know me, I'm a bitch that'll burn a bridge while I'm on it if you take it too far. The number of people that take it too far with me in a year is probably one, okay? And bitch, we are never coming back from that. So, my last point is, don't bite the hand that feeds you and then expect to keep getting fed. Beloved? About Amanda Seales and Issa.
I mean, there you have it. Wasn't she terminated from the show? I can't remember if she was terminated from the show. I don't think so. I can't remember, but I feel like she was in the last season. But when she left, what happened was she was not invited to the Emmy party. So she went down there anyway and tried to go to that party as somebody else's plus one, and she was asked to leave. And then she went on, talking shit about Issa. So it's fine, like this lady said, if that's how you feel, you know what I mean? You have every right to speak about your experience, but this lady goes everywhere. She went to Floetry, they kicked her out of Floetry. She went over there to The View, they kicked her out of The View. Her contract was not renewed. It feels like Issa Rae, when she was working down to the radio station and she interviewed Jay-Z, like every story that she tells, somebody did her wrong. She never, ever, ever. That's my issue with Amanda. And I think she's very smart. But like I said, she comes over here with no room for anybody else's point of view. It's her point of view only. So she did go on a tour talking about Issa and how the relationship was, and now these people are having a tour and they didn't ask you to go. Don't nobody care about the character that you play. And her character, I don't think she was the main character over there. I think she was definitely supporting cast. So they don't have to invite you to come to their tour. Amanda, I feel like she burns bridges everywhere she goes. And so she should be used to this treatment. And maybe she should call Dr. Cheyenne, since they conversation was so good. You know what I mean? They can tour on, whatever their platform, whatever the conversation is they want to have over there. But yeah, these Netflix documentary little parodies have me cracking up. Imagine you go to eat and the whole ceiling fall on your head, child. This lady was over here at this. It says, it starts off with she better get paid. An evening at Arigato Japanese Steak and Seafood House quickly went left after a large section of the restaurant ceiling suddenly collapsed over the dining area, striking a woman. Videos online show the ceiling debris and insulation scattered across the tables in the hibachi grill and the floor as the stunned customers look on. A woman could be seen on the ground surrounded by debris while nearby diners rush over to help her. Although social media posts claimed multiple people were injured, the officials have not confirmed the number or the extent of the injuries. The cause of the collapse also remains under investigation, and neither the restaurant nor local authorities have released a detailed public statement at the time of the publication. The shocking footage quickly spread across social media, with many users expressing concern for those inside, questioning the condition of the building. This remains a developing story, and more information is expected as the investigation continues. Look, I want y'all to pay attention to everybody still sitting at their table eating their food after the ceiling just fell on this lady.
Our food. That Arigato, bro. What the fuck? This shit just caved in, bro. Shit on my shoes. What the fuck? This went down. What the fuck?
So it's a hibachi restaurant. The entire ceiling fell on this lady. If I was her, I would lay there, girl. Don't move. Don't move. Make sure, we got you on film laid out. But why are these people still enjoying their food? Wouldn't you be afraid that the ceiling might continue to still fall down? We ain't shit as a human race, child. We didn't sit there. This lady didn't pass, she knocked down by the ceiling, and you still sitting here eating your hibachi. I would be claiming all injuries. Me too, child. From the rooter to the tutor, all of it hurt. Everything hurt. So we're gonna have to do a full workup. But again, could you just sit there? First of all, if the ceiling fell, I probably just lost my appetite a little bit. I don't know if I got insulation in my rice or what's happening. But these people are sitting there looking at her lay on the floor like nothing just happened. Like the whole restaurant is not collapsing. And you like, nah, not before I get, sir, can I get my to-go plate, please? I think everybody here should be able to eat free. I need to leave. I'm not feeling safe. I'm not sitting here waiting on no check. And I feel like there's probably insulation in my rice. But yeah, I hope this lady gets her money. Like they said, they ain't talking. I know they not. I know they would like to remain silent, as anything they say will be held against them in a court of law. So it's best that they just don't say nothing. He talking about his feet. I don't know. Why do people stick around so long to film things, but don't get the hell out of Dodge? Because, child, I don't know. They said people in the restaurant came to her rescue. I can't tell. Look like they just looking. Looks like they're just looking, and this guy's filming the whole thing. Before I leave y'all today, it's hump day. When you go on these cruises and things, or any restaurants in general, keep your eye on the non-melanated people, because they be doing very strange things down to the restaurant. We might even have to bring our own utensils. I'm not sure, but this lady is down on this cruise ship, and she is scratching her feet. Just nasty. Cruise ship passenger caught scratching her bare foot with a fork at the dinner table. Now, I don't know what kind of crusty, nasty disease this lady got on her feet, but she's sitting down here.
You make sure you tell everybody.
With the fork. She going in. But I want you to look at the rest of the damn feet. This is clearly a fungus. I don't know what's happening, but this is some type of, foot fungal disease. Shame. She's going in. She's going in on her feet with the fork from the damn table.
Y'all see that nasty mess too? This is an operation. I'm good.
Look at that foot. Look at that. Ew. Now she's scratching. I guess she started out with her hand. That is disgusting. She started out with her hand. Her hand wasn't good enough. Then she went in with the fork. Then she's gonna take all that gum off her foot and just wipe it on her shoe. She got all kinds of stuff under her fingernails, and she went straight in. That piece of in her mouth. It's in her mouth. I'd rather be sitting over there with the ceiling insulation. That is so gross. You said don't end like this, please. Okay, I'll find something else to end with. Yes, he was filming rather than helping. What was he gonna do, child? He better be glad. She better be glad that he filming. That's the one person. Please make sure forward that film to that lady so she can use it in court. You said last time you went on a cruise, you brought your own plastic. Yeah, I'm thinking like, yeah, you need to. You don't eat out. Ugh, I eat out very little. I'm gonna start taking my own silverware. That is disgusting. I would have complained to the to the server. I would have told my server, this lady is scraping her scrungy feet with the forks. Can you tell her not to do that? She need to go see a doctor. I don't want to walk where she at. I bet you she be down there scraping her feet all the damn time. Everywhere she goes, she probably somewhere, scraping off her feet. So let's see. Elsa asked me not to end that way. It was gross, but I didn't want to be there looking at it all by myself. So I had to share with y'all, what had happened. Let's see. Okay. Have y'all watched this show? I haven't watched this show, but I think I want to check it out because it's quite interesting, this story that they got going on. Let's see. This one is for you, Elsa. She don't want to go out on the nasty foot scratching lady. So we'll go out with this lady right here.
I'm transgender, but she doesn't know that I haven't had a hysterectomy.
Every night, I could hear moaning coming from next door, but I never thought this was Jay's voice.
Pamela, confined to a wheelchair, never imagined that the biological father of the child her husband Jay was carrying was actually their male housekeeper. Pamela had always hoped to have a child of her own. Unfortunately, both of them suffer from osteogenesis imperfecta, a condition where even a minor bump, turning over in bed, or taking a deep breath could cause a bone to break. Doctors had warned them that they should not have sex and that pregnancy was an extremely dangerous endeavor as it could very well result in death. But to fulfill Pamela's wish, Jay decided to keep it a secret from her and take the risk of fathering a child himself. So Jay pretended to be Pamela's husband while secretly making a deal with the male caregiver. The three of them lived under the same roof and thus began an utterly absurd life together. The intimate sounds coming from the house night after night eventually exposed the secret. Pamela slumped in her wheelchair. She felt deeply betrayed by Jay. With the male caregiver's full cooperation, Jay successfully became pregnant. Just as he couldn't wait to share the good news with his wife, he received divorce papers from Pamela. He realized that Pamela had discovered the secret and misunderstood him, but Pamela no longer wanted to hear any explanations from Jay.
I'm pregnant. Pamela only knows that I'm transgender, but she doesn't know that I haven't had.
So I did not know that Jay was transgender. I'm gonna have to go check these people out and see what they got going on. This seems very much like a TLC story. Last thing I seen, she was trying to get some. So this must have been this must have been before. You said you're getting off social media. This must have been before. She found out that Jay was pregnant. I did not know that Jay was transgender. So, yeah, child. If y'all don't want to eat with leave with scratchy, feet, then we're gonna leave with this. And the beat goes on, y'all. If you don't have nothing nice to say, then don't say nothing at all. I will see you tomorrow. We're gonna end the week. Y'all have a wonderful hump day, and I plan on doing the same. Bye, y'all.